Let me navigate to this portal first of all. Okay, so when you are trying to create Azure SQL or Azure SQL SQL Server IaaS VM, whether it is infrastructure as a service or the platform as a service, whatever. Okay, you guys is remember. Okay, there is a three uh, options we are getting to deploy that one, right? So if you can navigate here, okay, so yeah, if you can see here, what I can able to find basically, okay, in Azure SQL, we have multiple flavors here. Okay, so one is for the SQL databases, and other is Azure SQL Managed Instance. Third is the SQL Server and virtual machine. So this part, mostly we covered. Okay, still there is some high availability concepts under we are need to going forward. We are going combination of these two. We are going to cover. Okay, so the Elastic Pool and the SQL Server, all this we are going to do. Okay, so and we will add some MySQL component as well. Okay, so MySQL also we are going to deploy. Okay, now let's today agenda, what exactly we are going to discuss. Okay, so when you are in a database support or IT, okay, so there is some sort of enhancement is done. Okay, the service comparison. Okay, initially let's go for 15 to 15 years or 20 years back when it is started. Okay, so there is physical servers have there inside of the physical server. Basically you are going to install and you entire process, right? So uh, in this physical machine if you have, so what exactly we are going to do, and we will build first of all VM. Okay, so either Windows VM or Linux VM. Okay, a server we are going to build. Okay, so then after that we will install SQL service, SQL Server. Okay, uh, normally we are going to do this is manual effort. Okay, so there is no visualization concept. All the physical server need to build like CPU, memory build, and cabinet, and desktop monitoring. So this all this setups we are going to build, and on top of it SQL Server we are going to use. Okay, so there is infra team and a database team all together they are going to do. Okay, so what it is going to happen is basically in this physical environment. Okay, so physical servers. Okay, so you have to do everything um, dedicatedly. So there is no higher hardware increment or software extension and all. That is not possible. Though it is a little bit of scope, there is a lot of dependency to do that type of task. Okay, so it means there is a higher administrator. Okay, so and dedicated cost also. Okay, this is an on-premises one. Post that we got like this environment. What is that? Basically virtual environment. Virtual environment is basically what we are going to do. So typically in this context, okay, you have a bare metal hardware. Okay, so on top of it, what we can do. Okay, so you have uh, So you have a bare metal hardware component. Okay, so visualization. Let's say this is having around configuration is like that. 5 TB. Okay, so and storage. Okay, or 1 TB storage. Whatever. We just take it as an example. 1 TB storage. Okay, and you have like uh, with a combination of 120 CPU cores and with 300 GB RAM. Okay, so like that, the bare metal is there. Okay, so on top of it, what we are going to do in a VMware concept. Okay, so you are going to build hundreds of servers or whatever you required. Let's say server one, okay, server two, server 3. Okay, likewise you are going to split into this multiple servers. Okay, so to accommodate uh, configuration. Okay, so you are going to take it up from here, the bare metal server end. Okay, like this server is having 300 GB storage. Okay, uh, and you have some like uh, 50 GB RAM. Okay, 50 GB RAM and 10 CPU cores. Okay, so likewise you are going to configure. Okay, so similarly the other servers as well you can configure it. Okay, so similarly the other server also you can able to configure it, make it ready. Okay, so here also some advantages are there. Okay, some disadvantages also is there. Okay, so you can use this configuration. All the servers are some server maybe you have little bit configuration. Let's say this server is have a minimum configuration. Okay, so 100 GB storage. Okay, and you have 5 core. Okay, so and 8 GB RAM. Okay, so likewise, you can configure this, all the servers. Maybe you are using for this one, application, okay, web server, okay. So this is maybe you are using application server, app server, okay. So maybe you have, like dead DB server, okay. Likewise, you are going to know segment and use, and maybe this is the operating system also Linux. Okay, so this is maybe Windows. Okay, and this is again is the combination of Windows only. Okay, so likewise you are going to split and utilize this one, but again there is some single point of failures is there. You have some dedicated thing is going to happening. Okay, so this is next to physical hardware to the virtual VMware concept when it is got introduced. Okay, so this is what typically it is going to happen in the virtual environment. Okay, so this is all about 10 years back. Okay, it is in 15 to 20 years back. Okay, so again here also some some sort of administration and dedicated cost is also is going to incurring. Okay, suppose that what it is happening. Okay, last 12 years. Okay, so the AWS got started 12 years back. Okay, so there actually what it is happening, there is some virtualization cloud it is introduced into this market. Okay, so there is you no need to use this bare metal things and physical environment. Okay, so what you need to do, and you just go under the cloud, whatever you want you can able to utilize. Okay, so which we discussed in the initial demo class. Basically we have three flavors, right? One is for infrastructure as a service, and the other one is a platform as a service, and the software as a service. Okay, so in the infrastructure as a service, what it is going to happen, the cloud vendor. Okay, so the cloud vendor, he is going to take care of all these things. Okay, so what typically it is going to happen. Okay, so this is in the scope of cloud vendor. Okay, so you can take it up this one into the cloud vendor it is going to taken care. Okay, so here in all these three flavors, it is a cloud vendor. Okay, so let me share this whether it is AWS, okay, AWS or Azure, okay, so and GCP, whatever. So lot of cloud vendors is available, but we are more focused into the Azure at this moment. Okay, so this infrastructure, platform, software, all are same. Okay, now let's come into the Azure related stuff. Okay, so Azure is Microsoft public cloud vendor. It is going to provide us in the infrastructure as a service. What it is exactly it is going to happen. Okay, so you no need to bother about it's also okay. Gotcha. Okay. So you no need to bother about the infrastructure underlying. So here is your taken care, right? If anything goes wrong in this bare metal system, you have some single point of failure and all it is going to happen. Okay. So now what I want to tell. Okay. So we are in a cloud basically. Okay, so we are more focused into this cloud concept. Okay, so now, as I said, three flavors we have. Okay, one is for infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Okay, so you may call it as IaaS, and here is PaaS and SaaS. So you do have other services as well. Okay. Uh, Database as a service. Okay. So database as a service and network as a service. Okay. A lot of things is having. Okay. But the more core related is, infrastructure as services, platform as a service, and software as a service. In infrastructure as service, which we discussed earlier also, okay, so we have networking, storage, okay, so and as middleware, everything it is going to maintaining of cloud vendor, public cloud vendor. Okay, so on top of it, whatever you want, okay, you have to install Linux, you can install, and you want to install Windows, you can install. On top of it, you can configure your the database application, whatever you want to do, you can do it. But this underlying hardware component or the entire networking and all, it is going to manage and maintain by the cloud vendor. Okay, but here the platform as service, what it is going to happen. See, this is the best example is infrastructure as service, like SQL Server IaaS VM. So last 1 week we are discussing okay SQL Server, right? So SQL Server in Azure VM. Multiple time we deployed. Okay, this is in this will comes under the scope of infrastructure as service. Okay, this will comes under the scope of infrastructure as service. Now today what we are going to discussing basically, okay, so this is pretty much we covered 40 to 50%. Still some high availability concepts remain. I'm just giving an example. Okay, now we are start today we are going to start this platform as a service. So you have a SQL Server and you have a platform you install, but in this scope what is going to happen, 40 to 50% of the administration tasks like backup, okay, like monitoring, okay, so if you want to do some automation task, okay, so some vulnerability scan, so everything you have to do, okay, only the underlying component cloud vendor it is going to provide you. Rest of the things, okay, whether you want to restore, you have to do manually, you have to configure, you have to do configuration, but only for the underlying hardware component it is going to manage and give it to you the 99 point, okay, 99.99 SLA, okay, 99.99 SLA it is going to provide you. Okay, but when you go for the platform as a service, you don't need to bother about okay underlying hardware component and the database service as well, including the database service is going to provide you. Here you have to install, you have to configure. It is already pre-defined, pre-built, it is going to manage with the public cloud vendor. And You have just need to focus on take your backup and restore it. That's it. But here you have to do all the things. You have to install configuration, take the backup and restore and do your task. But in the Splash module, you just need to focus on your data and restore it. Okay. So all these things, let's say high availability, okay, HA and DR, okay, so patching, okay, and what you are going to do and backup, it is automated backup and restore, okay. So and long-term retention, if you want to store your data under 10 years, okay. So if you want to do this backup and long-term retention, you would have to take third party tool. Okay, so third party tool again it will come to picture of the uh, licensing and heavy cost. Okay, but predefined, pre-built Microsoft it is going to provide you. Okay, the best example is what we are going to discussing currently, the Azure SQL. Okay, Azure SQL. So again, that is different part. So the Azure SQL we do have around three flavors we have. Okay, that is Azure SQL Server, IaaS platform as a service, software as a service. Though it is in Azure SQL scope, okay, it is comes into the infrastructure as a service point of. We just need to consider basically this. Okay, so as I said, okay, this is completely cloud vendor. It is going to provide it. Okay, infrastructure as a service, virtualized virtual machine, and seek Azure SQL is a managed instance. Software as a service. Okay, so software as a service, we don't have any database related stuff. Okay, so this one software as a service, we can just take the good example is Office 365. Okay, so you guys is remember that Office 365, it will come all the email configuration, Teams meeting, and okay, so if you want to do some file storage, okay, everything you can do it. Okay, so this is comes to the best example, Office 365. It's like Google Drive. Okay, so you are using Google Drive, but the data you are storing, but where it is storing you don't know. But service ultimately you are using. So you in your mobile applications also we are using a lot of applications, right? But you are installing the service you are being utilizing, but the data and the service where it is residing, who is going to maintain it, you least bothered about the things. The application you are installing, you are utilizing the end product. Okay, so that is a SaaS product. Okay, so now coming to this database related stuff, what I'm going to focus in. Okay, so Azure SQL we are going to discuss, okay, including the Azure SQL Server and VM as well. Okay, we just high level thing we covered. Okay, but still we have a lot of configuration and all we have to complete it. We will cover in both the things. Okay, so the agenda is SQL Server in cloud platform, the managed services and how it is going to focus in. Okay. Now today what we are going to discuss platform as a service, SQL, Azure SQL. Okay. In Azure SQL also we do have couple of things. Okay. So we do have couple of things. Yeah. So see, we just before we discuss, Azure SQL database, okay, Elastic Pool, managed instance, SQL Server, IaaS VM. Okay, so as I said, there is a lot of things, though it is in a SQL Server related stuff. Okay, so it is comes into the infrastructure as well, and the platform as a services. These three flavors all together comes into the platform as a service. Okay, so this is like you see here, it is a lift and shift. Okay, you can take your data, dump into the SQL VM. Okay, it is going to provide you this 99.95 SLA SQL Server IRCM. What you need to do basically. Okay. So what you need to do in the infrastructure service, you have a SQL Server, you need to install it. Support instance, supported future and future support and by managed instance. Okay, fully controlled. You have an OS level control you have, and you just need to do the patching and backup recovery, full administration. And you have only for the 99.9 5 SLA. Okay, so this is a little bit of, but you feel like on premises how we are going to manage and maintain the same kind of approach we feel. And when you go for the platform as a service, as I said, see, instance of the SQL Server support most of the instance support in the future. See, whatever this this is going to support you, it is going to support 99.99%, only 1% it is not going to support. OS level control you don't have. No need to administration database and the OS and the hardware. Okay, you don't need to take care of this stuff. This is going to take care of cloud vendor. Pre-build backup, pre-build backup and restore, it is already is there. Okay, automatically patching is going to happen. Full control on your SQL Server instance level you have control, but the OS level, hardware level you don't have. Okay, so this is in a PaaS model. And this elastic model is basically, this is a pooled model kind of thing. Okay, so this is the extension of this Azure SQL. Okay, so how we're going to elaborate with a single database, support only for the database support feature. Okay, so full control on your database, automatic patching, backup. Okay, no need to do any administration OS tasks. Okay, so it is a 99.99 SSL. So ultimately the platform as a service, it is completely, it is going to uptime of 99.99 SLA. This is 99.95 SLA. So this is all about. And what I want to tell, okay, so once you are going to navigate into this particular Azure SQL thing, okay, I could see this in infrastructure as service and platform as a service. So this is comes to the infrastructure as service. This all together comes to the platform as a service. So as I said, this is Windows operating system or Linux operating system we can have, but this is going to manage for cloud vendor end to end. And the best example for the real time, if you want more control on your end, like OS level and the database level, you can put to go with this business use case. But you are least bothered about the administration task and all. You don't need to maintain the patching and all tasks. Okay, better to go for Azure SQL or Azure SQL Managed Instance. Again, the best modern cloud application. It means the best modern cloud application in the sense you are going to, let's say, you just build a new application. If you want to test the right away the SQL database, okay, so to build this one you required OS software and the licensing, and database administration there, right? So instead of that, to avoid such kind of dependencies, it's better to go and start away, test your database and the new application build. So this is a very suitable thing. And also we have SQL managed instance, but still we have the instance level thing, and you are reduce your administrative tasks, better to go for a SQL managed instance. So this is 100% compatible. This is 99.99 compatible. This is 99 point 90% to 95% of the compatible. Okay, why? Because three flavors is their own features and the dependencies. Okay, so let's say this is not having a SQL Azure SQL agent, DB mail configuration, cross database storage, it is not having. Okay, so the business use case is that dependencies, you do not go for this one. And it is having all the kind of feature whatever you have, except that underlying OS level control. Okay, so you can go this option, but this is very expensive, and this is also very expensive. It is very cheaper. Okay, so this is all about the Azure SQL, man. Okay, let's go and jump into the demo so that you'll get some clarity on that what exactly we are going to discussing and so any questions you have at this moment to proceed further demo class?
Nothing, Anand.
Okay, all right.
No,
Yeah, so let's move further the portal first of all. Okay, so once you are moved into the portal, okay, so you'll get some clarity on this one. Okay, so it is as same as all services. Okay, so else you can go for the create resources also. Under the create resources also you can able to navigate. So there will be a lot of services will come into the picture. Okay, so in the database services we have not only SQL, we'll get, Cosmos DB and inbuilt, enterprise services. These are all the three inbuilt image stuff. Okay, so you guys can have some explorer on this one. Okay, so at this moment, we'll go and see this, Azure SQL related stuff. Okay, so let's navigate to the click on this Azure SQL. Okay, so once you are, click on that Azure SQL button, as I said, okay, so which we are discussing at this moment. There is a three flavors which we have some glance of window here. Okay, so let's move this one. The same kind of approach you can see, and you can able to explore this one. Okay, so let's go for this one first of all. So if you can click this one, we have again three flavors we have. Okay, so single database. Single database are great fit for modern cloud born application that needs to be fully managed databases. Okay, predictable performance and store up to the 100 terabytes of size and serverless compute easy to manage. So it means, okay, so the simple thing is the Azure SQL is you are a startup company. Okay, you want to maintain the SQL Server. To maintain SQL Server, how many dependencies is there? You have database administration guy. You have to do software assurance, software licensing. Okay, third party tools you require, backup and that kind of headache you least bothered about. Let's try to the modern application. You just innovated the new thing to make and test and develop. Okay, no need to take that kind of scope. Better to go for the Azure SQL single instance. Okay, so this is the best suit actually, and now it is free of cost. Recently, Microsoft is announced. You can use for the 1 month free of cost without anything paying, even though you don't have subscription on that. Okay, this is a single database. So Elastic Pool is basically this is a cost effective solution. What it is going to happen, the Elastic solution is that's I just want to make sure. Okay, so Elastic Pool, what is going to do? Okay, so you have, okay, so 200 GB storage. Okay, 200 GB storage. Okay, so and 40 cores and 45 GB RAM. Okay, so just I'm giving outline, but normally it is having just vCore and DTU models. Okay, so in a layman words we are using like this, but we have vCore model. Okay, so and other thing is we have DT. We will discuss this one. Okay, what is the vCore and what is the DT? Just try to understand this. So on top, if you are using the pool concept, okay, so elastic pool concept, okay, so it is under the scope of Elastic Pool. Okay, so it is under the scope of Elastic Pool. What you are able to utilize? Let's say you have Azure SQL. Okay, so you configured this configuration dedicatedly one server. Okay, you may configure dedicated to one server without pool. Okay, so you don't have any pool, but in this case is the pool you have. So your database using okay only for the 6 into 9. Okay, 6 into 9. I mean to the 9 hours. Okay, only 6 days you are using. Okay, 6 days with the morning 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. something like that. Okay, so you are utilizing. Ideally, you are using this these times, and now the Saturday, Sunday you are not using. Before 10 a.m. and after 6 p.m. you are not being used, right? But still you are charging, but you have to pay this one. Okay, for this configuration you may have to pay like 500 USD. Okay, so if this for this 500 USD, you are not being used as out of business hours. Still, you have to pay this to the Microsoft vendor. Okay, when you go for this Elastic Pool, let's say you are going to divide this one multiple instances. Okay, multiple Azure instances, Azure SQL instances. If you have, okay, you are going to split in this one. This one it is running. Okay, so let's say morning